I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Wolverine Revenge #1. This comic book is written by Jonathan Hickman with art done by Greg Capullo. So this was a comic book series that I saw get announced by the Twitter account Discussing Film while I was on break one day at work. I saw that this was going to be the cover art page for issue 1, and I was like, okay, I am adding this book to my pull list. So Wolverine recently has had a lot of titles come out for him. We've had Deadpool and Wolverine, WW3. We have another 4-part miniseries for Wolverine that's currently out right now alongside this one. That series is written by Chris Claremont. And then obviously you have this series, Wolverine Revenge. And then we are also getting another comic book series for Wolverine in the From the Ashes, A New Beginning, because that is Marvel Comics' relaunch of X-Men currently right now, where they have several ongoing series and there are more coming out very, very soon. So the reason why that I just mentioned that is because this comic book right here does not have the new tagline for X-Men, which is From the Ashes, A New Beginning. So as you guys even read this comic book, you're going to notice that this is basically a Marvel Black Label series where you can tell it is not in the continuity as the other X-Men titles currently going on right now. Now, I have seen people talk about the book and basically give it mixed reviews. Some people really like it. Some people really didn't like it. Some people thought it was just average. So for me personally, I actually really enjoyed it. I had to read the book about 2 to 3 times to really understand what was going on. And I would recommend that to anybody that's just picking this up right now. Read it more than once, just like I did. And by the 3rd read, I really understood what Jonathan Hickman was trying to do with setting up the story. So there are several things in this book that I also do not like as well. I feel like some of the characterizations of the characters are not as good, but we're going to get into that right now. But this cover art from Greg Capullo is absolutely amazing. I might end up just changing the wallpaper on my computer to this. This looks absolutely amazing. So I do want to give another massive shout out to Greg Capullo for the art of this book. It's absolutely amazing. So we have the prologue right here, which is basically an asteroid was coming to Earth, right? And then Magneto actually ended up stopping it, but he died in the process. And then when Magneto died in the process, he actually released the largest EMP in the history of mankind. Now, as you guys know, Magneto's powers is magnetism. So if he releases an EMP like that, that is going to basically cause electricity in a big, giant, massive areas to actually go out. And that is actually not good at all for anyone that was around that EMP at all. And then after that, we start the book off right here where it says after Magneto, we're in the Savage Lands. And then these characters are out basically hunting for food, actually. And then Wolverine comes in. Wolverine is actually riding a Triceratops. And then he ends up having some dialogue with these other hunter guys. And then the Triceratops that he was riding ends up getting killed by this bigger dinosaur. This bigger dinosaur reminds me of that dinosaur as the main villain from the 2015 Jurassic World movie. And then Wolverine ends up getting into a scuffle with this new big dinosaur. It doesn't last that long as the dinosaur ends up getting killed. And then the character that ends up killing that big dinosaur is none other than Nick Fury. So Nick Fury basically convinces Wolverine to come with him because this is a serious situation and he needs the help. So 8 hours later, Wolverine is with Captain America and Winter Soldier and the other people there on the Helicarriers with Nick Fury. And he basically says that the asteroid that came in and then Magneto stopping it basically caused a whole bunch of people to get killed, and massive damage has been ongoing as well, and they need to stop it. And that the other Helicarriers that were out there at the time of when the EMP went off, they're also gone. We're looking at the last 3 Helicarriers. So the premise of the story basically is that, Magneto ends up stopping something, and then all the lights are basically out. Power's gone in a massive way, and then a lot of portions of the story are set up in this basically like doom and gloom scenario right from the beginning, which I actually liked. It basically set the tone and premise right in this page that this is going to be a very serious story, right? So then after that, Captain America basically says, hey, should we really be doing this right now instead of just helping people? And Nick Fury says, we're going to end up pulling off a heist because they want to actually stop the situation that is currently happening right now with no power on in a lot of different places. But they're going to actually have to go and get an item called a seed reactor. But this is in the place that is residing with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and that is currently being ran by the villain Mastermind, and he is the main villain, I would presume, for the rest of the series as well. So then Captain America, Winter Soldier, Wolverine, and the other 3 characters you see right here also tag along for the mission. And then as they are closing in, obviously, on the place to go, Mastermind ends up controlling Colonel, and then he has Colonel basically shoot out one Helicarrier, and then obviously later on, he shoots out the one that Wolverine, Captain America, and the other characters are in. But that's the weird part about the story is how did Mastermind end up knowing that they were going to end up going to his place? And I can understand people's gripes with the book, actually, because you have moments like this that don't really make any sense. They're just kind of there to advance the story. There's no actual reason why that would be a thing at all. It's like in the Injustice animated movie when Ra's al Ghul ended up saving Superman because somehow that he knew that Adam was going to be inside of his ear, right? You guys remember that scene? But how would Ra's al Ghul know that unless he had people just, watching in the Justice League building that they were in? So that's the weirdest part about the book is like, how did Mastermind know where they were going and that he knew to control Colonel, So that was just odd. But nevertheless, the ship that they're on ends up exploding, and then there's one Helicarrier shift left. This is, to me, probably the best artwork in the book, actually. The other art in the book doesn't particularly stand out as far as, like, a really great, like, 2-page spread, but the art by Greg Capullo, as you guys can see, is absolutely amazing. I love it. So they arrive at their destination, and then Captain America, shows them, hey, we're going to have to get to this place, but we should probably, split up to cover more ground. And that's where it gets into this, like, horror movie, all hope is lost kind of thing. And that's kind of a trope where you're in a group of characters and they just all want to split up, right? So then, nevertheless, they end up splitting up, and then the characters that Nick Fury assigned with Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine all end up getting picked off. You can clearly see right here, one of the characters gets stabbed through the neck, and then another one right here gets basically strangled to death, and then another character gets his head completely split open, actually. Holy motherfuck. So the story is advancing in a more serious way. Characters getting picked off left and right. And then after that, Winter Soldier is by himself. He ends up getting apprehended by a character that we're going to talk about in just a moment here. And then as you read the book, you can kind of tell who these villains are that are doing it. It's pretty obvious, actually. Captain America ends up getting closer. He ends up getting apprehended, actually. And then we get into the final survivor right here, which is Wolverine. And then we see the villains that have been killing off and apprehending our heroes, which is Deadpool, Sabretooth, and Omega Red. So another confusing point is, why would Deadpool team up with Omega Red and Sabretooth? Guys, if you guys don't know, Sabretooth's pretty much always been a villain for most of his time, right? And Deadpool's always been mostly an anti-hero, but he's mostly leaned towards good. I have no idea why he's one of the bad guys in this. He doesn't even really get that much screen time as a character that you would probably think, but later on, they end up capturing Wolverine as well. And then later on, they're all three tied up, and then Captain America says there's something wrong with his chest because apparently, and then as you guys will see in just a moment here, Mastermind ended up coming out with them, and it's revealed that there are, bombs implanted in Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine, and somehow they ended up bypassing the healing factor of Wolverine and getting it inside them. And the way to actually blow them up, that remote is obviously given to Deadpool, as you guys can see right here. Colossus ends up showing up, and Colossus and Wolverine have this exchange. And I'll be honest, you guys, I didn't know that Colossus was a villain recently, or in this book, Colossus is a villain, actually. He says he didn't have any, hands in doing that, but let's be honest here, that's probably, a lie, honestly. So later on, they end up freeing themselves from the chains, actually, and Captain America and Winter Soldier end up running off so they could basically have some final moments with, I guess you could say, their loved ones, because as people know, these guys are like humans. Captain America essentially is a super meta-human. Like, if there's a bomb inside of him, he will end up dying, right? Winter Soldier is basically somewhat similar. He's going to end up just being completely just splattered meat on the ground if he explodes, right? So then after that, the villains have more dialogue. Deadpool talks more, and then he ends up pressing the button on Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine, killing Winter Soldier and Captain America. I'll be honest here, I did not see that coming. I was like, damn, they're going to really kill off Captain America and Winter Soldier like that? That's crazy. And Wolverine was like, I'll just cut the bomb out of me. And then Deadpool ends up, blowing him up as well. So then after that, all of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants right here end up leaving. And then Wolverine, as you guys can see, his healing factor starts to kick in. And then he ends up coming back to life, actually. And that is where the book ends. So, and then we also get this final page, which is the cover art page for issue 2. And as you guys can see, Wolverine has his claws, and they are all, the claws are going through characters with pictures on them, which is Sabretooth, Omega Red, Mastermind, Deadpool, and the evil Colossus. So, if I'm being completely honest here with the book, I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the setup, I enjoyed the premise, I enjoyed the pacing, I enjoyed the dialogue, but I could understand why certain characterizations weren't considered like normal for some of the characters, right? And I could understand why some of the dialogue was also a little out of place for some of them. But to me, none of that really like bothered me too much, because for me, like Jonathan Hickman, I've read a few of that guy's books. He's currently doing Ultimate Spider-Man, and he's also currently doing Aliens versus Avengers as well. That guy's doing a lot of stuff. He's doing Marvel Gods as well. Man, they're running that guy ragged over there at Marvel. Holy crap. So that's what I would kind of say for the book. If you are a fan of basically non-canon black label stories, kind of like this one, if I was Marvel, I would have just have labeled this like Marvel's Black Label something, whatever they want to make for their brand. Because that's what this is essentially. I could understand why people were disappointed based off the premise of how the book was actually announced and what people thought it was going to be. I think people thought it was going to be like some jungle book for Wolverine where he's just slawing through monsters and doing that kind of thing, But for me, I really enjoyed what I got here, and I am definitely keeping this book on my pull list. I would love to find out why Deadpool later on is teamed up with Sabretooth and Omega Red, And I would love to find out more about the villain Mastermind, right? Because they've honestly put the characters in a situation where, the entire world is basically falling apart. And then Nick Fury tries to get characters to go and get the seed reactor from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And then they end up all getting killed off themselves except Wolverine. And then now we're at this point where Wolverine wants to take revenge on all of them. So yeah, I cannot wait for issue 2. But I'll ask you guys this. What did you guys think about Wolverine Revenge #1? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? And what do you think could have been better for the book? Why do you guys think this book ended up not really meeting the expectations for a lot of people? Do you guys think the premise was what people were expecting and then they didn't get that? Or did they just not like the characterizations of certain characters? I would personally say this was way better of an introduction book than Deadpool and Wolverine WW3, because that was a book that is the premise of both of them collaborating, and we only just got mostly Wolverine, whereas this is just a solo Wolverine book. So it would make sense by the end of the book that he would be the one to take revenge on the characters that ended up killing off all of his comrades as well. So yeah, I am super interested in the series. I actually really enjoyed it. I understand many people didn't, but for me, this is staying on my pull list. And as you guys know, I am working on putting out more consistent content on this channel. Actually, I'm going to probably go and read another comic that I have over there on my pile, because basically I have a giant pile over there of comics, new ones, obviously, that I want to make sure and I read for you guys. I have another new comic series that I'm going to start for you guys. This was something that I talked about in a comic book haul a while ago that I was going to do, but I never got the time around to it because I never actually focused on it. But now I have focused on it, and that other comic book series of reviews is actually going to start very soon. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you're a returning viewer or new viewer, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and I'm signing out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace.